Hey everyone, welcome to another adventure on Mimics and Misfits. We are playing some more Duality. If you don't know or haven't heard yet, Duality is our 2d6 genre-crossing tabletop system that is on Kickstarter. It is fully funded, and that means if you go back it right now, you will get whatever you are purchasing. It is guaranteed. I have actually printed the books to make sure that they look good, look amazing, and I'm very proud to say the book is actually getting longer, so you're getting more than your money's worth, I promise. We are going to kick it over to Brad, who is joining us as a storyteller for today's adventure, where I get to be a menace as a player for the first time ever.
Yes, and I'm very happy to be the storyteller for you for the first time. Thank you all for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brad. I have a lot of experience with tabletop role-playing games. I've designed my own, but I'm going to leave that kind of promo till the end to see if you like me or not. For now, let's get into talking about our characters. With us here today, we have a wonderful cast of people. I'm going to kick it over to each of them now to go through their stuff. Let's go with Elizabeth first.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, she, her from Open the Gates Gaming. I will be playing Lita. Lita is a bit of a mysterious figure. Either she's ancient or she's middle-aged and just spent too much time in the desert of the Old West. Either her hair that's wild and a little out of control and often in a braid with pieces hanging was, ash blonde, or maybe it's graying because she's older. She wears an eye patch and is going to be a little bit of a mashup between the Ripper Doc from the cyberpunk side and also the charlatan from the Old West.
Brilliant. That's wonderful. I can't wait to see what she gets up to in this crazy world. And along with Lita, we have Rex, who is going to be playing
Dry Gulch. Dry Gulch in the Wild West world is an old-time prospector. So he talks like this, and he's maybe spent too much time in the sun. His skin looks like leather, his hair, you almost never see him with his hat off, but when he does, he's very greasy. And in the cyberpunk world, he's more soft-spoken, but in the cyberpunk world, he basically is a professional dumpster diver and data recovery person. So he's picking up old hardware for the still usable chips or precious metals in them. And yeah, that's Dry Gulch.
Wonderful. I cannot wait to hear you do that voice the entire time. Sean, tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Sean, also from Open the Gates Gaming, and I will be playing Ivo. In the cyberpunk world, Ivo is has the ambassador archetype, but is kind of more like a fixer consultant. Is sort of hired by folks who need to resolve a situation in the hopes that it won't come to violence, or importantly, the law won't get involved. And is exactly what you would not expect from someone in that line of work. Tends to walk into situations being like, all right, mates, what's going on here? How can we fix this problem without getting too much nonsense thrown about? In the Old West world, though, in the exact opposite vein, is a wandering outlaw, taking loose jobs where they can, but also in some ways and I'm sort of delighted by this, in the opposite way to Dry Gulch, who Ivo and Dry Gulch have been very good friends for a very long time. In the Old West world is much more soft spoken, as a sort of gentle outlaw in that vein. So yeah.
Great. And I do remember you mentioned you were wanting to do an Australian accent for the character.
Is that not what I was just doing? Oh no.
No,
well,
no,
that was the accent I had in mind. Yeah.
No. I'm not. I wasn't shit talking. I was just bringing it up.
Yes, and just
I'll
to be
give you
clear
a
for
mark at
everyone,
the end.
And just to be clear for everyone watching, this is not, and this was decided before I knew where David was, because I also spent many decades of my life in Australia.
Wonderful. All right, and then over to you, David. Tell us about your wonderful little guy that you brought with us.
Hi, I'm David, one half of Chaotic Wholesome. I am playing Jeremiah Gates, who is a what's the class? Drifter mercenary, but I'm a bounty hunter. And the great thing about being a bounty hunter is that whether it's the Wild West or in a cyberpunk era, the job is still the same. And he doesn't say much. He usually speaks with bullets. And also, an advantage of bullets is also in cyberpunk and the Wild West, the bullets speak the same language too.
Yes, they do. You will not need much translating. I can promise you that. And finally, that brings us down to Matt. What have
That's
you brought with
me.
you today?
Today I will be playing Bartholomew Lunds. He's a robot in the cyberpunk world, but has made his way to the Wild West, and he's here to talk to you about your union rights. And he wants to make sure you know you get to take breaks. You get to take a break at least once every hour. If you spend an hour working, you need 5 minutes off, okay?
Wonderful. All right. You know what? If I look at my notes here, yeah, you're going to be able to have some union conversations throughout this. So we've got a little bit of something for everyone today. So importantly, what will they actually be playing with these wonderful characters? Well, we are going to be playing a little one-shot written by me called The Banshee of Megablock 4. In this, two worlds have collided in a strange and mysterious way. In one, there is a great big city with a megablock, Megablock 4. It's one of the many megablocks throughout the city, and recently a string of murders were reported. The strange part is no one knows who these people were. That can only mean one thing. A new gang is trying to muscle its way into the megablock, and that means a gang war. And wars bring security raids, and security raids are bad for everyone. So the team will need to get in there and sort these guys out before they bring the law down on all of our heads. But not just at Megablock 4, in a nearby world that's closer for comfort than many would like is a beautiful little mining town called Silver Rock Falls, which in recent years, unfortunately, has been abandoned. There were reports of a haunting nearby, a banshee that started appearing from deep in the mine, warning of the death of loved ones. The job is simple. Get in there and clear out this banshee. The telegram our heroes received ended with the phrase, "The silver in those mines has got to be worth a fortune, and banshees ain't got no use for jewelry. Clear it out, and I'll split it with you." And so, to begin, we will start with Ivo, alone in a wonderful vehicle, driving towards Megablock 4. What are your thoughts as you head towards this large skyscraper?
Do I know that other folks received these missives, the telegram and
Yes.
the note?
To begin, yeah, all of you are at least somewhat aware of each other in some way, shape, or form. And you're aware that all of you have some level of involvement in these missions together. Whether you're actually trying to work together or not is ultimately up to you.
So as we're driving, I was thinking first about how bad it would be if this ended up in a security raid. That is the main thing that Ivo works to try to avoid. Gang wars are always sticky. The tensions are high. Folks aren't so receptive to outsiders. But I was also a little wary that they were the only one of all these folks that chose to check in on this half of the job first. That's filling them with a little bit of a little bit professional pride, but a little bit also hesitance. Going into these spaces alone only adds to the risk and the challenge that they present.
Understood. Those thoughts pass through your head as you are waved through a security gate and you arrive in the loading dock of the building, the only safe place to park. It's undercover and it has a spot just for you. You imagine it's for actual deliveries as well, but this part of town doesn't seem to get many of those anymore. Stepping out of your vehicle, you are met with many workers, all loading and unloading trucks, which is strange, you note, as there aren't many deliveries here at the moment. So what could they be loading? As you think this, you get a side eye from three separate, let's call them street toughs, who are standing nearby trying to ward you away from looking too closely. You park your car. There's no valet service, unfortunately, so you'll just have to keep the keys on you. And you proceed forth towards the main concourse of the building. You feel this little twinge on the back of your neck, a little breeze. You recognize this as the twinge and breeziness you get when portals are nearby. Something about this building is heavily connected to another world. Another world which is currently full of many of your rivals.
Hey.
Rivals! The big team of rivals. You are moseying on in to Silver Rock Falls. And you all feel this strange breeze on the back of your neck, like, yes, Ivo's nearby. But there's no time for that yet. For now, you see a beautiful town at the foot of a mountain, surrounded by stunning waterfalls. Or it was. Now it's empty, without a soul in sight. A few years back, word got out that the whole place was haunted by a dreadful banshee. Most failed to heed the warning until people started dropping. It was old Jack, the head miner, who sounded the alarm. And even as the people were leaving, the story goes that old Jack stayed behind to ward off any travelers who strayed too close. But old Jack hasn't been seen in months, and multiple groups of hopefuls have tried their luck getting into the old mines. None have ever returned. You approach the town along the main road, and you park up your little carriage that you all arrived in. What do you think as you step out into the dusty street, empty and alone?
Gulch, what have you gotten me into this time?
Well, now they said there's a lot of silver in there, and silver is something you know I love. The only thing I love more than silver is gold, and more than gold is platinum, but that's pretty rare in these parts. So they said we could get some silver. I figured we could make enough money and finally retire.
But I mean, if the Banshee isn't going to use it anyway, maybe we could just ask her to borrow some. Leave her alone.
Well, we could certainly try.
I mean, I can... Is it weird to say I get where she's coming from? Like, just leave her alone.
Yeah, but that's a lot of silver to be leaving shitting around for just no one to be digging up and making into fine jewelry or accoutrement. And he rubs his fingers along the band of his cap, and you can see he's got just the tiniest bits of turquoise with the smallest silver settings. And they're finest accoutrement to put upon your person that people might know your person of quality.
I think at this, she kind of like leans forward with her makeshift wooden cane, probably that she's using today, or using it more like a crutch, I think, but kind of leans forward, balancing on it to take a closer look, adjusts her eye patch, and then like hits the side of her head and plops out the other eye to like get in there real close. Is he wrong about the value?
Sorry, I spoke over you.
Oh no, that's okay. I was wondering if you're wrong about the value, like how valuable what you're showing off.
Probably.
He's just gonna like save that for later, and then take stock of everybody else in here.
Yeah,
And
I believe Jeremiah and Bartholomew, you two would also be getting out of the carriage around this time, sorting out your things on this desolate main road, hearing the wonderful argument about the value of turquoise on the brim of a hat.
I'd say if I left alone everyone who wanted to be left alone, I wouldn't have a job or much money.
And I think I'm with Drago. You thinking we're just going to leave this here and they're not going to spend it against us? We can take we can get the money and we can be the ones in charge now. Don't you want to be part of a collective where everybody can have a share? And instead, if we leave it alone, the mayor's just going to take it and run away with the fucking money. He probably killed old Jack. Taking a break.
Your voices echo out down the main road. It is the first thing you see when you arrive. It's a wide dirt road leading through the entire town. It branches off to the general store, the boarding house, the saloon, the train station, and the mine. It has a direct line of sight with the entire town and technically reachable from any location via 3 main routes. The slow route is your carriage. The medium route is if you choose to mosey between the locations. And the fast route is the railroad seems to sort of snake through the town a little bit. And there's some old rusty handcarts there. If you pump them hard enough, you could probably get those things moving quite quickly. While you consider this, Ivo, you hear on the wind, if there was wind in this building, a voice of someone talking about union rights. But that can't be right. You're looking around, all the people working here, they've been working 10-hour shifts and they're not having a break anytime soon. You can just tell that you're going to have to deal with these fucking people in about an hour or so. But for now, you have some peace and quiet in the main concourse of Megablock 4. Now, the main concourse here is a great big open area at the bottom of the building. As you stare up, you can see the building rise around you. Along the edges of all the walls, it has great concrete balconies that lead up and up and up. It leads up to the stores, to the habitation area, function halls, the loading bays, which you already came through, and the upper floors where the rich and powerful tend to live in the other mega blocks, though you assume here it is more like the powerful alone. As you stand in this main concourse, you can hear the hustle and bustle of all the people going about their day, and you spot 3 separate routes possible to reach other areas here. You have the freight elevators, which are quite slow, but could take any number of people or any size of object up and down to the different areas. You see the people elevators or stairs, which the elevators themselves are quite quick, or sprinting up the stairs when the elevators are full might also be quite good. But the fastest way you see of getting between these floors is, quite frankly, gravity. If you're on those upper floors and you jump just right, you could make it where you need to go very quickly. And if you jump just wrong, you'll make it somewhere else even quicker. Ivo, you have precious little time before you know these worlds will collide even harder. What would you like to do to get a head start?
Are there security forces that have been investigating these murders, or anybody who's been like, how has word been getting out about these string of murders?
Someone within the residents of the megablock themselves were reporting them. The security forces don't come to the megablock. They stay outside of it. They use it as a cautionary tale for everyone else. Despite all megablocks being about as bad as each other, they use this one as at least you don't live in Megablock 4.
Sure.
So for now, you have free reign to investigate as you will.
Okay. Um, of the sort of major gang powers, is there one that's sort of particularly dominant here?
Yes, you have heard talk of a little fella by the name of the King of Clubs. If he had a real name, it has been lost to time and probably propaganda. His name is, of course, descriptive. He is the king of the many clubs that you can find on the upper floor, although you can definitely tell that he picked it because he really likes card games.
Hmm.
That gang is the power here, and they were the reason for the murders. You know that. But what's important is that the bodies belong to people who had never been seen here before.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the underbrush, amongst the residents, there is a rival gang trying to force their way in.
Lot of moving parts here. So I think I'm just gonna go right to the top. I'm gonna go see if I can talk to some of these. Well, I mean, maybe the King of Clubs themselves, but
Okay.
someone
All right.
involved in that group.
And which of the two elevators gravity doesn't work upwards? Which of the two elevators would you like to use to get that way?
Um, I actually think freight elevator is the way I'd like to go.
Mm-hmm.
I
All
feel
right.
like if
That'll
there's
bring
something in the
you.
under. Oh, sorry, please.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that'll bring you. That'll be a little bit more sneaky as well. It'll bring you to a sort of back area of the clubs rather than straight out into the main area of them.
Yeah, I feel like
Jump in the
there's
freight
secrets to
elevator.
be figured out here, and I may well pick up on some. I sort of clocked the loading dock workers, and there may be some backroom gossip that might help among all this,
Hmm,
especially if I'm going to have to
absolutely.
deal with old Union Bart in just a little bit of time.
Oh, you will. On the way to the freight elevator, you do clock that it is at the bottom of the building, which means things have recently been brought down. Perfect for you. You hop straight in, and you are able to ride that up wherever you'd like to go, the upper floors, namely. On the way up, you have a lot of time to think, and you can see this mystery before you is going to definitely contain some twists and turns. But most importantly, it is going to contain about 4 assholes
Oh,
who are
hold on.
going to.
3 assholes and my best buddy, Dry Gulch.
I apologize, 3 assholes and your best buddy, who at this very moment are deciding where in this old west town they would like to go. I pass over to you.
So we can take the carriages. We got to give the horses a break, though. I don't really want to do all the pumping. I can make it work, and we can get there fast, but it's gonna tire me out a little bit. I'm just saying. What are we thinking? We want to go fast. We want to go slow. You want to take turns? We should take turns.
Well, from
You-
all go ahead, David, please. No, I insist.
You get tired? Is that why you need a 5-minute break every hour?
It's in my contract. And he pulls out this really long piece of parchment that you can see is several pieces taped together. Right here, you see right here, line 12. When you do work, you get break. It says. And it doesn't say that. He can't read.
And I would just take a finger and poke a hole in the paper.
Hey, this is an official document. You can't just be shoving your hands through it. He just starts pulling out scraps of paper from a bunch of his side pouches and kind of slapping it over that spot, looking at a new spot that looks long enough to say that he deserves a break.
Well, unless we want to get into some sort of complex accounting that we're doing where this person made this much effort and that person made that much effort, and then go through a whole thing of chartered accountancy to ensure that people are properly rewarded for the effort put in, I think we should all take a turn.
Yeah, everybody takes one turn.
Are you going to measure how long that turn is, or is it honor system?
That sounds like I'm not taking a break if I'm doing work to measure how long your turn is.
How about I just measure how long your turn is? Like, I'll do all the measuring. That'll be my turn.
Dry Gulch has started stumping towards the cart, and he's fumbling in his pack, and he's pulling out like an oil bottle and a hammer, because he knows that this thing's going to need to get loosened up. So, and this is just the medium hammer.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is going to need some work. Now, you do notice that despite being old and rusty, it's definitely been recently used. Not taken care of, mind you, but used nonetheless. The top of the rails seem to be quite a bit shinier than the rest of them, indicating recent wear. Speaking of wear, where would you like to take the handcart to? Along the rail track, you can stop at, as I said, the general store, the boarding house, the saloon, the train station itself, or the mine.
So we're kind of bickering in one spot. Have you shared any of these observations? That the cart looks like it's been recently used?
Once Dry Gulch gets there, he's kind of muttering to himself, and like he starts to reach for what you would know would be one of his tool rolls. I don't need that. These rails, and the low mutter that he runs on all the time. Because these rails have been used somewhat recently, and he licks his finger and wipes the dust, and then licks the dust that's on top of the cart. His dust appears to be fairly new, because we've had four, five thunderstorms come through here, and a couple of, and he's just like, he's saying it, but you, as the Dry Gulch translator, you understand.
Yeah, I think Lita has definitely been on enough adventures that the minute that voice comes out, kind of captures an ear. And she just goes, fellas, we can discuss this effort thing in a little bit, but think my partner over here might have found something. And she'll kind of, using that makeshift, just one crutch basically, kind of awkwardly ramble on over and take a look.
All right, so, taking a look, could you please roll me intuition?
Gladly. I have no points in this, so it'll just be a flat roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 9.
9, I believe, is a what was
basic success.
Basic success. Thank you. Okay, with a basic success, looking at this intuitively, you know what's going on here. You can see what's happening here. Whoever's used this last has no actual clue what they're doing. They just know that pumping it makes it move. These are not people who are used to living in a mining town. You think maybe it's one of those groups that was sent in originally to try and clear out the mines, or someone else who's since made a fool of themselves in the town. But this minecart, importantly, or handcart rather, importantly, is back at the town. So its recent use came from somewhere else.
Yeah, I think she'd kind of be leaning over again, taking a closer look, kind of over top of Dry Gulch, and I feel like she'd have a nickname for you that you find really annoying. Is Gulchy good enough to kind of start? She'll escalate it as needed. So she's just like, Gulchy, I think the locals would know how to use this a bit better. And it's interesting that it was left here. I don't think this is one of those local bands that we heard about that's coming and looking for old Jack. This could spell trouble.
Legion, my heart, my sun and stars, I've asked you not to call me that, and you may be as correct as
Oh, well, come
the
on,
sun is in the
Gulchy Poo.
sky, but and he's now pulled out a grease gun that he's applying to the axles just in case, and he's he's complaining the entire time, just in that old man mutter, and he's talking to it as he's going. See, you got a couple chips on this wheel. Can't patch that up right now, and okay, these brakes, they seem to be okay. Those springs are in good order. And he's just like...
And she just pulls out a screwdriver, and she's got some like random rope and things in a bag, just little bits that she's collected everywhere. And I think quite seamlessly is helping you even as we argue about it.
Yeah, he like, instead of trying to get it back in his pack, he just hands you the grease gun and you slap the screwdriver in and he's going back at it and you're putting it where it belongs in the bag. Just
yeah, and you're kind of a little bit off for where she wants you, so she starts nudging you with the cane. Like, no, you gotta start over there. Like,
I know what I'm doing. If I wanted you on my back, I'd have you climb on the backpack so I could carry you around.
Be here otherwise, and just
Yeah.
What does the union worker robot think of all this work getting done?
This is a lot of work, and you see Bartholomew kind of like doing inspections, and kind of going through. All right, yeah, you got to make sure you grease that point. Yeah, well, that's a little too much. You're outside of regs, but don't you worry, I got something for this. And Bartholomew takes his rifle by the barrel and swings it down onto half of the lever and just yells, all right, everybody on right now. And I'm going to pull a thread to activate my unique feature, The Law Abides. And in this instance, the law that I would like to follow my wish is the law of physics. And I am turning this into a perpetual motion machine.
Because of course. Very well. Where would you like this perpetual motion machine to take you to?
So I think it's more, where does the party want to jump off? Because this will just keep going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. Where would everyone like to jump off?
So as a reminder, we had the general store, the saloon. I knew it could go all the way to the mine. What were
Boarding
other
house.
options?
And a boarding house, yeah.
Boarding house.
My vote is a saloon because after all of this, Jeremiah needs a drink.
That's a good break.
I don't think Lita ever doesn't need a drink when working with Dry Gulch.
Well, I certainly think some of you are going to need a drink after the tuck and roll. Could I actually get a fitness roll from everyone just to see how well they pull off the tuck and roll?
That would be a 10 from Lita.
Brilliant.
To look at my modifier.
Same.
Oh.
10.
6.
10? Oh, nice. 6? Okay, all right.
2.
Rough. Okay. All right. So the 10s, hey. Yeah, tuck and roll. This ain't your first rodeo. You've jumped off a handcart before. You've had plenty of adventures. Jeremiah, your tuck probably would have been so much cooler if you didn't have to save Bart from making a fool of himself. See, Bart's impressed with himself. Bart's looking at this perpetual motion machine. He's like, I could ride this into the sunset. And you go to jump and you go, oh, and you grab it and you pull him off with you. And you both just make it in time. You land hard on the ballast of the rail. It hurts a little bit. You got some rocks in you. It's not enough for a real wound, but it's close.
Oi. Do I need to file a union grievance for this? This is workplace. This is a workplace incident now. And he just is sad watching the cart continue on without him.
As it
Lita, come
rides
over
off
with
into the
oh.
distance. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Proceed,
no, I was
proceed.
going to say, you can go ahead if you'd like. My reaction was just, I think Lita comes over with, again, like kind of looking inordinately graceful, getting off of this, but then getting up again with her mobility aid, comes over and starts kind of whacking Union Bart here with it and go, feller, you're working for yourself now. You got to get up. I mean, who's gonna pay you compensation? Don't know what you're talking about. You don't have to negotiate with the bosses if you're just doing your own job.
I could be my own boss.
Yeah,
like one of them entrepreneurs.
You know what? We'll go with that.
Okay.
With that, as you stand up and you see the cart perpetually go off down the rail forever, you hear it squealing and echoing through the mountains in the distance. And it's a very notable and memorable squealing noise that the freight elevator is making as it reaches the top of the clubs. Ivo, it comes to a grinding halt. It sounds as though something has broken in this elevator, but not for the first time. So it'll probably be fine. As you open it, you are met with oh, that's the wrong end. You are met with the pungent smell of the entertainment district at the top of this megablock. Many fights have broken out here over the last few weeks. It's evident by the scoring on the walls, floor, ceiling, and doors every few feet. There's a smell in the air that you can't quite place, and the sound of incredibly loud music pumping into the nearby clubs, which penetrates the walls and vibrates your heart in your chest. You stand behind the clubs in a sort of employee area. You have access to any number of them. You can go through any of the doors. The security won't be able to prevent you from getting in. But if they notice you back here at any point, you get the feeling that it won't go down well. So you've got to be quick.
Biggest, loudest club.
Biggest, loudest club?
Yep.
Perfect.
While I'm doing
you start
that,
moving towards it. Oh, sorry.
can I try to figure out what this smell is?
Yes, absolutely you can. Could you please, for me, I will accept intuition, creation, or medicine.
Okay. I have one in intuition. Would you be amenable to me making a appeal for a different skill here?
Okay, yeah.
Chronicles?
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy with
okay.
intuition, but I'm thinking about like if I
No. I could do something with Chronicles. I could do something with Chronicles.
Just because I have slightly more points in that.
Mm.
But we'll see. Okay. All right. So that is a 9 on the dice. So it's either a 11 with Chronicles or a 10 with intuition, and I'm super happy with either one.
No. You don't need to. They're both really, really good. This smell, it's a smell you've heard about in old stories. It's not that they told you and you went, "Oh, I know what that smells like when I smell it," but more so that it's a smell you're used to in terms of relation to the stories. This smell comes from the stories of canaries in coal mines. This is carbon monoxide.
Great.
Which seems to have been seeping upwards from the air ducts from the lower levels. It is pumped through the employee area, past the nightclubs, although clearly the ducts are in worse condition, what with all the holes in them. And it is seeping out into the clubs. Just a little bit. Not enough.
Pumped through the employee areas?
Well, it wasn't meant to be in the employee area. It was meant to be in the ducks, but the employee shot the ducks, and
Boy,
here we are.
yeah, that you know what? For not the first time, but it is a rare occurrence. I do regret that Bartholomew is not here because boy, is this a violation
Yeah, you can
of
you can
so
feel
many things.
you can feel the disappointment across worlds as Bartholomew's like, no, that's against regs. We're gonna have to report this.
You in saying that, you do feel that tingle on the back of your neck. You feel like if you needed to, you could reach across worlds here. At this point, I will let everyone know that at any time you can jump to the other world, and you will be in a mirrored location in the other world as you are in the current one. Now, at the moment, I don't know if you guys will have figured out which locations are mirrors of which, but you could do so at any point.
Okay.
Ivo, is this a time where you feel like heading over to the other world to try and get Bart would be good, or do you feel that staying here for the moment is where you need to be?
I think that I do want to see if I can talk to somebody here first about what's going on, with just a
Sure.
little tinge in my head of every every single thing I've encountered so far makes me very wary about again that hesitancy about being here on my own, now being in the empty carbon monoxide filled back rooms. So pushing right through into that biggest club as quickly as I can before it becomes a problem.
Absolutely. You push on through, opening the doors to the biggest, loudest of the clubs. As you walk in, you see the lights everywhere, dancers all over the place, laser light shows going off, you name it. The music rattles your bones. You can feel your organs being affected by how loud it is. What you don't see are speakers. Yes, maybe there's some kind of PA system that's hidden or something, but a sound this loud, you'd expect some kind of speakers, but you can't see any. You do see a VIP area. And in that VIP area, you see what you can only assume is the King of Clubs sitting on a great big pretentious throne and about 10 security guys between you and him.
All right, is it blasting time? No. Um,
Well, there
I
are, of course, many characters as well. You don't have to. That's the one I've highlighted. There are many people around. It's a whole club. There's employees, there's security personnel, there's people having a good time. You can feel free to talk to whoever.
no, I mean I think this is what I came to. This is what I came up here to do. So I'm gonna confidently sidle up, or no, confidently walk up to the secure. I assume like the velvet rope that sits outside the VIP area and the very large people preventing anybody from hanging out with the king, and say, "G'day.